We really hope that ethanol will be a global trading commodity one day. Actually, ethanol started as an agricultural policy for most of the countries in the world, not an energy policy or a climate change policy. So in Europe or in the US, ethanol was created as an traditional agricultural policy. So in the US is very linked to corn producers, in Europe to beet producers or wheat producers. So right now we still have subsidies and tariff protection in those countries. And we really hope to see free trade for ethanol. And it will happen. In the US this year, we hope that tariffs and subsidies will be eliminated. And we hope to see free trade of ethanol. We have today probably the most complete program of ethanol in the world because we have ethanol in all gas stations in Brazil. We are blending 25% ethanol into gasoline. And we have flex fuel cars in Brazil. 50% of the fleet today is composed of flex fuel cars. 90% of the new cars sold in Brazil are flex fuel. So flex fuel cars are a reality in Brazil, and ethanol replaced 50% of the gasoline here. But it's still a Brazilian experience. 90% of the ethanol is sold in Brazil, and only 10% is exported. And why? Because countries around the world are still protecting ethanol. Ethanol have very high tariffs around the world, and have very high tariffs because countries are protecting their own farmers. It's still an agricultural policy, not an energy policy or a climate change policy. And in our opinion, there is a very huge contradiction on that. Because if countries are serious about getting rid of oil, they should try to reduce tariffs on the alternatives to oil. And they are not doing that. Oil is very scarce, oil is very pollutant, but oil is free in the world. Ethanol is a real alternative. We are proving that here in Brazil, but ethanol is very protected around the world. So there's a contradiction. One of the problems that we have today is the competitiveness compared to gasoline in Brazil, because we compete directly with gasoline in all gas stations, and gasoline prices are controlled by the government in Brazil because of the monopoly of Petrobras in Brazil. I believe that our industry is one of the most interesting and innovative industry in the post-petroleum era. I think that we are really doing energy from photosynthesis. So we are transforming the capacity that tropical areas in the world have to convert the light of the sun, the minerals of the soils, the water that we have in these areas, combined with high technology, the capacity of the people here into energy, into low carbon products, into products that will replace oil and that will produce high quality foods to the world. And I think that the experience that we have here in our country can be replaced, can be done in more than 100 countries in the world. There's more than 100 countries producing sugarcane around the world, and those countries can replace oil to, can do what we did. This is fascinating to see that we can do that from sucrose and from cellulose. So there's a big revolution coming in the next 10 years in this area.